Remember, you don't have to let yourself be terrorized by other people's expectations of you. It is okay to say no. Our world is a highly competitive and overstimulating place, and the more and more concentration is needed every day just to stay focused on completing your daily tasks and pursuing your long-term goals. Because of the explosion in communications technology, we are more accessible to people than ever before. Complete strangers can reach us by telephone, cell phone, fax, text, regular email, normal email, social media. They can reach you at home, at work, on your smartphone. If you're not there, they can leave messages on your answer machine or your voicemail. If you're there, they can interrupt you with calling you as well while you're waiting. It seems everyone wants a piece of you. Your kids want rides or to borrow the car. Your co-workers want your input on projects that you're not responsible for. Your boss wants you to work overtime to finish a report he needs. Your sister wants you to take her kids for the weekend. Your child school wants you to be the driver for next week's field trip. Your mother wants you to come over and fix her screen door. Your best friend wants to talk to you about the impending divorce. Your local charity wants you to head up the annual luncheon committee. It's an endless array of telemarketers want you to subscribe to a local newspaper, a fund, a process, a charity, whatever that is. They want you to transfer your credit card or debit card over to their new card. Your pets are even clamoring for more attention than ever. We all suffer under project and productivity overload at work, taking on more than we can comfortably deliver in our unconscious desire to impress others, to get ahead, and to keep up with others' expectations. Meanwhile, our top priorities actually go unaddressed in the situation. To be successful in achieving your goals and creating your desired lifestyle, you have to get good at saying no to all the people and distractions that would otherwise devour you. Successful people know how to say no without feeling guilty. To them, no is really just a complete sentence. If you're going to increase your results and your income, as well as increase your amount of free days in your life, you're going to have to eliminate all these activities, requests, and other time stealers that don't have a high enough payoff for you. You'll have to structure your work so you're focusing on your time, effort, energies, and resources on projects, opportunities, and people that will give you a huge reward for your efforts. You're going to have to create strong boundaries about what you will and won't do. I mean, start creating what Jim Collins, classic example, good to great calls a stop doing list. Most of us are busy but undisciplined. We are active but not focused. We are moving but not always in the right direction. By creating a stop doing list as well as a to-do list, you bring more discipline and focus into your life. Write your stop doing list as soon as possible and make things on your list of priority policies. People respond to policies. They understand the policy as a boundary. They will respect you more for being clear about what you won't do. For example, let's look at some of Jack Canfield, some of what his won't do policies. He won't give endorsements for book convictions. He doesn't schedule in more than 5 talks in 1 month anymore. He no longer co-authors books with first-time authors. Their learning curve is too time-consuming and expensive. He doesn't take any calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are writing or product development key days. He doesn't lend his books to other people. I don't either now. They rarely come back, and they're a source of the livelihood, so don't lend them out. I don't lend money, and I'm not a bank, certainly. I don't discuss charitable contributions over the phone. Just send me something in writing, and I'd stick to that one as well. Why do we find it so hard to say no to everybody's requests? Well, as children, many of us learn that no was an unacceptable answer. Responding with no was a cause for discipline. Later in our careers, no may have been a reason for our poor evaluation or failing to move up the corporate ladder. Yet highly successful people say no all the time. To projects, to crazy deadlines, to questionable priorities, to other people's crisis. In fact, they view the decision to say no as equally as acceptable to the decision to say yes. Others say no, but will offer to refer to someone else to help. I'm afraid I can't help you on this occasion, but I know somebody can. Still, others claim their calendar and family obligations, deadlines, and even their financial reasons might be why they must decline the request. At the office, achievers find other solutions to their co-workers' repeat emergencies, rather than becoming a victim of someone else's lack of organisation and poor time management. One response that Jack Canfield has found helpful in saying no to crisis appeals at time robbing requests from people is, it's not against you, it's for me. So let me explain. Well, for example, when you're at a local PTA meeting, the chairman calls with yet another weekend of fundraising events that needs your dedication. You can say, by my saying no to you is not against you and what you're trying to accomplish. It's a very worthy cause, but I've recently realised I've been overcommitting myself outside of my home. So even though I support what you're doing, the fact is I've made a commitment to spend more time with my family. It's not against you, it's for us. Few people can get angry at you for making us and standing by this higher commitment. In fact, they'll probably respect you for your clarity and your strength in the whole process. There are lots of valuable techniques you can learn that will make it easier for you to say no without feeling guilty. So there's several good books that you could actually recommend you could read and have space for. The two, the best-selling ones, or the best books, are When I Say No, I Feel Guilty by Manuel J. Smith, and How to Say No Without Feeling Guilty by Patty Berman and Connie Hatch. Jim Collins once says, good is the enemy of great. So what do we mean by this? Well, it's a simple concept, this is, yet you'll be surprised how many frequent and top world entrepreneurs, professionals, educators, and civic leaders get caught up in projects, situations, or opportunities that are merely just good, while the great is actually left out in the cold, waiting for them to make room in their lives. In fact, concentrating on merely the good often prevents you from the great from showing up, simply because there's no time left in our schedules to take advantage of an additional opportunity. Is your situation constantly chasing after mediocre prospects or pursuing misguided schemes for success when you could be holding at bay opportunities for outstanding achievement? If you surveyed your life and jotted down those activities that brought you the most successes, the most financial gain, the most advancement, the most enjoyment, you'd discover about 20% of your activity produces 80% of your success. This phenomenon is the basis of the Pareto principle, often referred to as the law of vital few, named after a 19th century economist who discovered that 80% of the land in Italy was actually owned by 20% of the population. Later research discovers that 80% of enterprise revenue usually comes from 20% of their customers. So instead of dedicating yourself and your time to mundane, non-productive, time-stealing activity, imagine how rapidly you would reach your goals and improve your life if you said no to those time-wasting activities and instead focused on 20% of the activity that would bring you most benefit. What if instead of watching television, mindlessly surfing the internet, running unnecessary errands, and addressing problems that you could have avoided in the first place, you used your extra time to focus on your family, your marriage, your business, your breakthrough goal, you're starting a new income stream, or other more productive activities? So let's look at Sylvester Stallone. He knew what he was doing. He knew to focus, to forget the good and focus on the great. So everybody knows Sylvester Stallone now, but what you probably don't know is Sylvester Stallone knows how to say no to the good. After finishing the very first Rocky screenplay, Stallone encountered several producers who were interested in making it into a movie. But even though that alone would have made Stallone a lot of money, he insisted on playing the lead role too. And even though actors such as James Caan, Ryan O'Neal, Burt Reynolds were considered to play Rocky Balboa, Stallone said no, and after finding backers willing to finance his shoestring budget of under $1 million, Stallone completed filming on location in just 28 days. Rocky went on to be the sleeper hit of 1976, earning over $225 million and garnering Oscars for Best Picture, Best Director, as well as acting and writing nominations for Stallone, who took full charge of his golden opportunities and turned Rocky Balboa and later John Rambo into industry franchises that have grossed over $2 billion revenues worldwide. So what could show up in your life if you said no to the good? How can you determine what's actually truly great so you can say no to what's merely good? Well, here's 4 key tips before we end this. Start by listening to your opportunities, one side on the page for good and the other side for great. Seeing opportunities or options in writing will help crystallize your thinking and determine what thoughts to ask, what information to gather, what your plan of attack might be, and so on. It will help you decide if an opportunity truly fits with your overall life purpose and passion, and if it's just life taking you down the side road. Talk to advisors about this potential new truth. People who have travelled the road before have a vast experience to share and hard-headed questions to ask about any new opportunities that you might be contemplating. They can talk to you about expected challenges and help you evaluate the cost factor. That is how much time, effort, money, stress, and commitment it will be required to reach what your great goal is. Test the waters. Rather than just take a leap of faith that is a new opportunity that will proceed as you expected, conduct a small test, spending a limited amount of time and money. If that's a new career you're interested in, first seek part-time work or independent consultant contracts in that field. If it's a major move or a voluntary project you're excited about, see if you can travel for the first few months in the dream locale to find ways of immerse yourself in volunteer work for several weeks before committing to 100%. When I started off in buy-to-let, I actually did that very thing. I tested the waters. 30 years ago, I put adverts in papers, which for a property I didn't own then, just to see if somebody was out there, it would actually rent the property at the price at the rent level I was asking for. So I could work out my numbers first before I started my journey and committed overall. And that's testing the waters. And 30 years later, well, you decide. And finally, look at where you spend your time. Determine if those activities truly serve your goals, and if saying no would free you up your schedule for more focused pursuits. And I'll see you tomorrow.